I've worked in marketing a long time, and I think idle fees is the first time I've ever seen a user base celebrate a new fee. So
please contribute. It really helps my independent, honest journalism. I'm here with Rob from Chargefox. Now, Rob, what's your role at Chargefox?
I'm the head of marketing at Chargefox.
What's the most popular Chargefox site for fast charging in Australia?
Oh, that's a good question,
Yeah.
Neerav. It is the Airport West site in Victoria.
Okay.
And
in
it's
Melbourne?
been the most, yes, in Melbourne, Victoria, just north of Victoria, near the airport, surprisingly enough, with a name like Airport West.
What a shock.
It's been there for a long time. It was recently upgraded.
Yep.
And it's a great site. There's a heap of charging options there.
Okay.
They're Chem Powers. And
Yes.
I think we just checked before on the app, and there 7 or 8 of them are in use right now.
They're right now. Very popular location. And Rob mentioned they've been upgraded to Chem Power. They used to be, I think, mostly tritium before. And I think the drivers are liking the new Chem Power charging units. They've got dual speeds, I think, Rob. They're faster for 800-volt vehicles than 400-volt.
That hardware's not my area of expertise.
Yeah.
I believe that's correct. I know they do have 2 Chem Power solutions there. They've got the satellite.
I'll show that on screen.
One. Great. And they've also got the larger standalone units, but they look really good. They've got beautiful RACV blue wraps on them as well, so they look great.
Yeah. And one thing I like about the Chem Power chargers is you can scan off the screen. There's a special QR code and keep a track with a cool graph if you're nerdy and you like cool graphs about charging. While you walk away and buy coffee or lunch or something.
It's in a good spot too, because near the airport. So if you're either an EV owner in Victoria or you're renting one when you're visiting town, it's a good spot.
Okay. Obviously, we're not in Victoria at the moment. You can see the Sydney Harbour Bridge in the background. We're at a EV industry summit, and Rob kindly chatting with me during the event. Rob, in 2024, the largest growth in host sites in the Chargefox network was in South Australia with the REA network and in WA with the WA EV network. Which site host partner of Chargefox is growing fastest in 2025?
We've got a number of hosts that are rolling out chargers at scale. I think at the moment it's probably Woolies. You might have seen some stories in the media about Woolies rolling out at scale. I think
you can get Woolies rewards points if you link that up to your Chargefox account now.
Yeah, that's a recent feature we rolled out with Woolies, which is great. So you can get those extra points when you charge. They've got over 100 plugs at somewhere close to 50 sites now and rolling out more, which is great. So you can kind of get your shop done, fill up your car.
Top up your car while you're shopping. Why not?
Really.
That's what a lot of petrol car drivers don't understand. You're usually not standing there with the Bowser connected to your car, watching it.
Like something that's becoming more widely understood by growing EV drivers, which is, yes, it might be quicker to fill up your car with petrol. That's true. But you have to go to a separate place.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the benefit to owning an EV is that you're charging it where you are. So either in your garage at home overnight, if you're lucky to have off-street parking, or where you're going, whether you're going to the gym, whether you're going to the movies at the shopping centre, where you're doing your shop at Woolies. It doesn't matter that it takes you 30 or 40 minutes to charge your car because you're already doing the job that you're
doing something else. Woolies chargers, are they all the same? The one I saw at Woolworths was a 47 kilowatt Autel charger?
They've got a bit of a range. So they offer a variety of charging, which is great. So they have some slower AC chargers.
Yeah.
They also have some DC chargers, some Chem Power ones, and some Autel ones.
I think there's a big rollout of Chem Power faster chargers at Woolworths near Parramatta in Sydney. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great site. A lot of good charging options at Parramatta in Sydney.
Sure. And actually mentioning Chem Power again, the WA EV network and the South Australian REA network, both on Chargefox. Almost all fast chargers are on the Chargefox network are almost all Chem Power. Because Chargefox is independent and you don't actually own the chargers, what are the largest site hosts on your network?
Yeah, the major networks are the biggest contributors in terms of plug numbers. So you're talking about those statewide networks.
Ones.
Yeah, WAV network, Electric Highway Tassie, RAA, NRMA doing a lot of really great work. The
across
Queensland
the country.
Electric Superhighway, like the Wide Brown Land is getting very quickly covered by EV charging.
Okay.
And they've been in the game a long time, and they're in some cases actually rolling out replacement chargers after that first generation has finished up.
Okay, we'll show on screen what the sort of the top Chargefox partner locations are. In case people are wondering, idle fees, whether they're at a site or not, is not a decision made by Chargefox. It's made by the site host. So if the site host wants idle fees, they can get idle fees. But if they don't, then they won't.
That's exactly right. So we've got idle fees available to all our hosts with DC chargers at the moment, and they're becoming increasingly popular. Popular is probably not the right word, but increasingly deployed amongst our CPOs and even drivers broadly. Actually, surprisingly, I mentioned, I think to you when it first happened, but I've worked in marketing a long time, and I think idle fees is the first time I've ever seen a user base celebrate a new fee. So that was
for other people who aren't, being as polite or as well planned. Definitely, I agree. Our more nerdy viewers, Rob, what can you reveal? I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is. What proportion, roughly, of Chargefox charges are started on the app on a phone versus on the RFID card tap and pay and tap to stop?
Yeah, it's vast majority is the app.
Yep.
We have people that really like the tactile nature of the card. So if you don't have a card, you're able to order one for a small price through the app or through the Chargefox website, and we'll get one out to you.
Yep.
Or if you're a fleet driver, you'll be using a card.
Yep.
The RFID cards are great if you're in a location with patchy mobile coverage or in a large concrete car park. So it's good to have a backup if you're using chargers that have that. It's still very much the app that's the main avenue to do that, and partly because you get, I think, a more sophisticated user experience. So you can be updated.
It's easier to keep track of, especially if your electric car doesn't have any connectivity of its own. So you can't just walk away to your hotel room or shopping mall or gym or whatever and keep track through the card. Then at least you can keep track through the Chargefox app.
Yeah, I reckon it's worthwhile having an RFID card and just keeping it in your glove box in case of an emergency, so to speak, or giving it to that second driver or leaving it in the car, but then using the app most of the time because you definitely get a better experience.
Yeah. How many people leave a message in the app with your new feature saying how long they plan to charge for? Because I've found that really useful. If I look at the app and I see that location, both people are planning to charge for a really long time, it saves me from driving there or stopping along a highway drive and wasting my time waiting, thinking they'll be back in 10 minutes, and they're not going to be.
Yeah, it's still a pretty small proportion. So for viewers watching this, I'd encourage you, if you have a moment, to go into the app when you're charging and let people know how long you're going to be so that that next person who may be waiting. It's still a small proportion. It's a feature we rolled out not too long ago, so hopefully it catches on, and I think it can improve the charging experience for everyone.
Okay, cool. Are there any other kinds of things like that you're planning in the future, or it's all secret till we find out?
Well, it's secret sometimes even to me. But no, the other one we rolled out relatively recently was the star rating. So we're getting star ratings back. We're getting a lot of feedback from drivers, as you can imagine. There's a very passionate user base out there. And I think the challenge that we have is that the industry is growing and evolving so fast. And our backlog, our software development backlog and our wish list is so long. So it's really about having to prioritize. And that's why we've prioritized things like the leave a message, the star rating. We did idle fees last year that we're rolling out more broadly. So there's still a lot more to come. And because we're developing our software in-house and in Australia, we're able to be a bit nimble in that respect.
Yeah. What actually is Chargefox? Because people will see the Fox logo on the chargers out there in public and they might not understand. You don't actually own all those chargers and maintain them yourselves, do you?
No, we did roll out 21 of the first public chargers in Australia, but we've since moved out of the hardware space. So the easiest way to explain it, I find, is to compare us to Airbnb.
Yep.
So in the same way that Airbnb acts as a kind of marketplace between people who need accommodation with people that have accommodation, Chargefox provides that platform like Airbnb. So we have the drivers where you can find your next charge, get your discounts, put your Woolies Everyday Rewards etc. And then we also provide the management platform for those organizations that own chargers, as we've mentioned earlier. And then we provide that kind of safe, secure platform. So you have one user account rather than 28,000 apps. You can access 2,500 public chargers. You can do that with confidence. And we also have our support number. So we've got an Australian-based call center. If you have issues, you can call up and you get the same people that you would call when you call NRMA or RACV for roadside assist.
Okay. That's a really good point there. I noticed when I called Chargefox to ask a question recently that you have all Australian staff for customer service. That actually is really helpful because some big charging networks outsource their customer service staff overseas. And when you call them, they're not in Australia. So even if they're trying to be helpful, which they are, they don't know where the towns and places you're mentioning are or have details about they've never had lived experience of actually using the chargers. I'm guessing your staff, some of them have EVs, some of them use Chargefox, and they're familiar with what NRMA is and what RACV is, etc. What difference does that make to the user experience?
Well, for us, it's a really important strength that we have. We're owned by NRMA, RACV, RAA, RAC, RACQ, all the motoring clubs of Australia. And that means that we have the ability to provide that call centre. The call centre is actually just in the outskirts of Melbourne suburbs, which is great. And they're all local staff. They've all got direct experience with using and driving EVs. We make sure that they're up to date on the latest kind of technology and issues that customers can be having. And it means, you do have that local contextual information. And I think all of those additional support services that come with being related to those motoring clubs.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for your time, Rob.
Always a pleasure.
Excellent. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and sharing my videos. It really helps me make more videos like this for you. And have a look at the suggested videos up above. I'm pretty sure you'll like those as well. Thanks, and see you later.